Part 1. The Girl Without a Name. She woke up to the sound of wind screaming through broken trees. At first, she thought it was a dream. The noise came in waves, howling, rising, fading, then returning again. Cold pressed against her skin in uneven patches, sharp in some places, dull and numb in others. Her eyelids felt glued shut. Her body felt heavy, distant, like it belonged to someone else. Pain arrived next. Not all at once. It bloomed slowly, spreading through her skull like a splitting ache, down her spine, into her ribs. When she tried to breathe deeply, fire shot through her side. She whimpered. The sound startled her. That came from me, she realized dimly. She forced her eyes open. White. At first, everything was just white. Then shapes. Blurred shadows moving across a pale ceiling. A steady beeping sound pulsed near her head. The smell of antiseptic filled her lungs. Hospital. The words surfaced in her mind without effort. She tried to move, but her arms wouldn't lift. Panic spiked instantly, sharp and sudden, clawing at her throat. Her heart raced, and a beeping sound quickened in response. A voice spoke near her left side. Easy. You're safe. A woman leaned into her field of vision. Middle-aged. Tired eyes. Kind voice. You were in an accident, the woman said gently. You're in North Ridge Medical Center. The girl tried to speak. Only air came out. The woman gave her a sip of water through a straw. The coolness slid down her throat like mercy. There you go, the woman murmured. Take your time. Minutes passed. Or seconds. Time had no shape yet. Finally, the girl whispered, Who am I? The woman's expression changed. Not fear, not shock, something heavier. Oh, sweetheart, she said softly. The girl waited. The woman hesitated before answering. You don't remember? The silence stretched. The girl shook her head weakly. I don't remember anything. No name, no past. Doctors came. Tests were run. Bright lights flashed in her eyes. Fingers pressed against her scalp. Questions piled up faster than she could answer. Do you know where you are? Do you remember today's date? Do you know your name? She answered no each time. By evening, they told her the truth. She had retrograde amnesia caused by traumatic brain injury. Her memory of her entire life was gone. Not damaged. Not blurred. Gone. Like a book burned to ash. You may remember again, the doctor said carefully, or you may not. Everyone heals differently. The girl stared at the ceiling long after he left. She had no childhood, no family, no face she recognized in her own mind. She lifted her hand slowly and turned it over, studying her fingers like foreign objects. I exist, she thought. But that was all she knew. The man who claimed her. It was dark outside when he came. She heard his voice before she saw him. Low, strained, speaking quickly to someone in the hallway. Then the door opened. A man stepped inside, mid to late 20s. Dark hair, dusted with melting snow. Winter coat, still on. His face was pale, eyes rimmed red as if he hadn't slept. He froze when he saw her awake. For a second, neither of them moved. Then his breath hitched. Oh my God, he whispered. He crossed the room in 3 strides and dropped into the chair beside her bed. You're awake, he said hoarsely. They said you might not wake up tonight. She watched him closely. Her heart did not react. No recognition. No warmth. No fear. Just curiosity. He reached for her hand. She flinched before she could stop herself. His hand froze inches from hers. Hurt flashed across his face before he masked it. I'm sorry, he said quickly. I didn't mean to. She swallowed. Do I know you? His eyes widened. The doctor's words echoed in his mind instantly. The man nodded slowly. Yes, he said. You do. Something in his tone made her chest tighten. Ow! A painful pause. I'm your fiancé. The lie that felt like truth. The word meant nothing to her. Fiancé. It sounded like a story someone told children. I'm supposed to marry you? She asked quietly. His throat worked. Yes. Her heart did not leap. It did not reject it either. It simply existed. My name? She asked. Or he stopped. The pause was barely a second. But she felt it. You're Lena, he said. The name slid into her mind. It did not stick. Lena, she repeated. It felt like clothing someone else had worn. She studied his face again. I don't feel anything. Pain crossed his features. I know, he said softly. And that's okay. You've been through hell. The doctors warned me this might happen. Were you in the car? She asked. His jaw tightened. No. Who was? Another pause. Just you. Something about that answer made her uneasy. Snow, silence, and a town that watched 2 days later, she was released. Her injuries were serious but survivable. Broken ribs, a concussion, deep bruises like fingerprints across her body. The man, her fiancé, took her to a small mountain town buried under snow and pine trees. Ravenswood. It looked like a place frozen in time. A single main road, old wooden storefronts, a gas station, a diner, endless forest. It was beautiful, and it felt wrong. His house sat at the edge of town, small, neat, isolated. He showed her inside. The photos on the walls showed her smiling beside him, laughing, holding his hand. She did not recognize the girl in the pictures, but the girl looked happy. This is where we live, he said. You and me. She nodded. The truth settled slowly, uncomfortably, into her bones. She was living inside a life she could not remember choosing. And somewhere beneath the snow, the forest, and the man who claimed to love her, her real story was waiting. Part 2. The town that watched. Ravenswood watched her. Lena felt at the moment she stepped outside alone for the first time. The morning after she arrived at the house, she woke to the sound of snow sliding off the roof in heavy clumps. The man, Evan, he had told her, was already gone, leaving behind a note on the kitchen counter in careful handwriting. Went into town for groceries. Back soon. Don't push yourself. She stood at the window for a long time after reading it. The forest pressed in tightly around the small clearing where the house sat. Tall pines, thick branches, snow-drowned silence. It felt less like protection and more like enclosure. She bundled into a coat she did not remember buying and stepped outside. The cold was brutal, clean, alive. She walked slowly down the long drive toward the road. Each crunch of snow beneath her boots felt too loud. The town appeared around a bend in the road, clustered small and tight beneath the mountains. At first, the people seemed normal. A man shoveled snow. A woman carried coffee from the diner. A group of teenagers laughed near the gas station. Then they saw her. The laughter faded. The woman stopped walking. The man lowered his shovel. Their eyes followed her as she passed. Not curiosity, recognition, fear. She felt it coil along her spine. Inside the diner, the warmth was heavy with coffee, grease, and quiet tension. Conversations dimmed when she entered. A few people stared openly. Others avoided looking at her at all. She took a seat near the window. The waitress approached slowly. Coffee? The woman asked. Yes, Lena said. Please. The woman poured the coffee with shaking hands. You shouldn't be walking alone, she said quietly. Why not? The woman hesitated. Some things aren't safe to remember, she whispered. Before Lena could respond, the woman walked away. Her heartbeat thudded painfully in her chest. When Evan arrived minutes later, breathless and pale, she knew something was wrong. They told me you were here, he said quickly. You shouldn't wander alone yet. They're afraid of me, she said. His face tightened. They're afraid for you. That was not the same thing. Part 3. The dreams that bled. The dreams began that night. At first, they came in fragments. Snow. Headlights cutting through white. A woman screaming. She woke, gasping for breath, her shirt soaked in sweat despite the freezing room. Night after night, the dreams grew sharper. A road curving through trees. A fight inside a car. Hands on the steering wheel shaking violently. One night, she woke with the sound of her own voice screaming a name she did not recognize. Mara. Evan rushed into the room instantly. What's wrong? He asked. She stared at him, trembling. Who is Mara? The room went silent. He swallowed. No one, he said too quickly. Just a dream. But she saw it then. The lie. Part 4. The girl in the snow. She found a missing poster 3 days later. It was stapled crookedly to the gas station board beneath ads for firewood and lost pets. The photograph stole her breath. The girl in the image looked exactly like her. Same dark eyes. Same scar near the eyebrow. Same crooked smile. The name beneath the photo read. Mara Keller, missing. Lena's hands shook violently as she ripped the paper down. The gas station clerk saw her. His face drained of color. You shouldn't have that, he said. Who is she? Lena demanded. The man's lips trembled. She disappeared 6 months ago, he whispered. They said she ran away. But we all knew better. Better than what? Better than believing anyone leaves Ravenswood alive. Part 5. The cracks in his story. That night, Lena confronted Evan. He did not deny the photo. He did not deny the name. He only denied the truth. That girl is dead, he said coldly. You survived? How? She demanded. He hesitated. Too long. The crash, he said. You were driving. Her voice shook. Then why do I remember her screaming? Silence. The kind that exposes guilt. You loved her, he admitted finally. Before the accident. Was she me? No, he said sharply. She was your sister. The lie shattered what little trust remained. Lena stepped back from him slowly. Then why do I feel like I died instead? His voice broke. Because the part of you that loved her didn't survive the crash. Outside, snow began to fall again. And beneath it, bones waited. Part 6. The truth of the crash. Lena stopped pretending after that night. She smiled less. Spoke softly. Watched everything. Evan noticed the change immediately, but fear made him careless. On the 5th night after the confrontation, she waited until he fell asleep. Then she searched the house. Not drawers. Not closets. She searched where guilt hides, places meant to be forgotten. Behind the furnace in the basement, she found the box. Inside it were a cracked phone, a bloodstained scarf, and a folded police report. The report said, Driver, Mara Keller. Passenger, Elena Keller. Status, Mara, dead at scene. Elena, severe trauma, memory loss. Her hand shook violently. I was the passenger. She powered on the phone. Only one video remained. Mara's face filled the screen, crying, terrified, bruised. If anything happens to me, it was Evan, she whispered. He's been watching me. He won't let me leave. If I disappear, please. The video cut off. Lena collapsed to the basement floor as the truth finally named itself. She was Elena, and Evan killed her sister. Part 7. The escape. She fled before sunrise. No coat, no phone, no destination. Only the forest. Snow tore at her lungs as she ran between the trees. Branches scraped her skin. Ice swallowed her ankles. Panic powered her when fear tried to stop her. Behind her, she heard Evan shouting her name. Elena. Not Lena. Elena. That name ignited something primal in her. The forest swallowed sound, but not pursuit. She slipped and fell near the frozen river. Evan tackled her from behind. They crashed onto the ice, breathless, shaking. "You were never supposed to remember," he sobbed. "I saved you. You erased me," she whispered. His hands tightened around her wrists. "I loved her," he said, "but she was going to destroy everything. And you chose to destroy her instead." Police sirens cut through the forest. The town had finally chosen a side. Part 8. The Identity Reveal. Spring came slowly to Ravenswood. The snow melted. So did the lies. Elena spent months in recovery, therapy, courtrooms, nightmares. The memories returned in pieces. Her sister's laugh. Their childhood bedroom. The night Evan became obsessed. The threats. The control. Evan was convicted. The town confessed their silence. And Elena finally stood at Mara's grave with a name that belonged to her. "I remember you now," she whispered. And for the first time since the crash, she cried with her whole soul. Part 9. The Final Choice. A year later, Elena left Ravenswood. She moved to the coast, near the sea, where the waves rewrote themselves endlessly. On a quiet morning, she stood barefoot in the sand, wind in her hair, breathing freely. A stranger walked past her and smiled politely. No recognition, no fear, just choice. She was no one's ghost now. She was Elena, not forgotten, not owned, not erased, alive by her own will.